Hey guys, I wanted to share with you how I composed a piece called Starry Night for one of my students. She has been just churning through her regular repertoire books, and when I asked her what kind of piece she would like me to write, she mentioned something that had magic and something that had white keys and black keys and something that had pedal. So I thought, okay, white keys and black keys. How many black keys do I want to use? Do I want to go all pentatonic? Do I want to go major or minor or modal with various combinations? I finally settled on the Lydian mode because that's the one that composers use for okay, and then that's the one that goes like. If you're thinking, wait a minute, that's in West Side Story. Well, it kind of is, but it's also in The Little Mermaid. And if your house is anything like mine, there has been a lot of Little Mermaid singing lately, perhaps too much. But that's another story. So I thought, yes, the Lydian mode, perfect. And now let's figure out a combination of chords that I can use with some white keys and some black keys. I thought maybe C and D, C major, D major. That has one, maybe F major, G major. Well, then I have to add an accidental. So I finally decided on G major and A major. And this student was doing the Royal Conservatory level A technique where she just has some pentascales. And so I thought she already knows G major, she already knows A major. Let me use those two. And she and I will usually improvise in just about every lesson. And part of that is trying different registers. So I thought, wouldn't it be cool if she does a pattern and then like jumps her hands? Because every great teaching piece seems to have an extra at the end of it, or one of those kind of things where you would never expect it, but all of a sudden, boom, there goes the arm way down low or way up high, and that's just something that pedagogical composers, they seem to do all the time. So I wanted to do that too because I want to be a great pedagogical composer. And so we have G major, and I thought about duple rhythms and triple rhythms, and I kind of like triple rhythms. I'm in a triple rhythm kick of late. So I have this G major chord, and I have the hand moving up to another G major pentascale, and her hand is big enough that she can reach from G to E and do a sixth. I didn't necessarily want the really strong root movement of, because if you do just this, then I feel like it conjures up perceptions of a different kind of a piece, like maybe more of a dance. And I didn't want this to be a Celtic dance, although that would be fun. Maybe that'll be for the next video. So I have using, if you want to get music theory technical, which of course I do, it would be an A7 chord, but inverted, so that so G's on the bottom, which is like a real transitional sound. If you want to hear a lot of this kind of sound, listen to Brahms. His lead and his piano music happens all the time. He's really good at that. So I wanted to be a little bit like Brahms, except for the beard. No beards. So I have this, and this, and this kind of fits with A major. But I thought if I do this interval, then I get the tritone, which could be either dramatic or could be Mozartian or it could be like exploratory, and that's what I wanted to go for. Something like we're curious. I explore G major, so let me explore A major a little bit. Yeah, but here's a way to explore A major that isn't so sure of myself. There's a little bit of like curiosity. And when I go outside and I look up at the 5 stars that I can see being in the city, I just wonder how many people have looked up at the stars throughout the course of human history. And I wonder if some of them were perhaps out on an adventure and they were, scouring the countryside for a place for their families to live, like Jubal Sackett, or maybe they were like nomads and they used the stars to navigate. Maybe they were like Moana, who needed to wayfind and like high-five the sky. So I use this interval, and to me, it's a way to use both harmonies without being so cut and dry. Okay, so we got G major, A major. That's really patterned, which is good for a young student to easily memorize, especially when going up to the higher notes. Higher keys, I should say. So I wrote another pattern for the next phrase. And then, and I thought, what can I do after this? I could introduce another pattern and keep the piece growing, but most of her pieces are in like the 8 to 16 measure range. And occasionally there's an extra 4-bar phrase, like a coda where something is repeated. So I thought, yes, I'll do a coda. And by having this, like the A phrase, and this, like the, B, I think, B phrase. Then going back to the A phrase, I'll have a little bit of unity in the piece, but by having 3 of them, instead of doing the B phrase again, I'll have a little bit of instability, which I think also lends to the wonderment of a beautiful starry night when there are many more than 5 stars in the sky. So that's why I finished with, and then this miniature thing. And I wanted to do something with A major at the end, because if you're in G major, which of course we are right now, that C sharp is this part in the scale which to me, how would I say it? It's like, I don't know where to go now. Should I go up? Or should I go down? Well, it depends if you ask a jazzer or a classicaler. Or, I decided that I would just leave it unresolved because I couldn't figure out a great way to resolve it, and I didn't mind this tone sort of lingering. Just like you look up at the stars, talk to the stars, they don't talk back. You're like, okay, maybe they heard me, maybe they didn't. Goodbye, stars. Sometimes at night my daughter will say, hey Dad, can we go look out at the moon? And unfortunately, my neighbors on the east side have these really tall trees, which are great at blocking wind and great for providing shade for that house, but the moon is just not high enough by the time of my daughter's bedtime, so she can almost never see it. So she's always like, Dad, can we see the moon? I'm like, sure, let's go see the moon. This is not going to end well. So we go outside. She's like, oh, the moon is not there. And I say, I know. Maybe tomorrow it'll be there. She's like, okay. And we go inside and we go to bed or read a story like Good Night Moon or something as a consolation prize. But this is a way for my student to do something that she heretofore had never tried. This arpeggiated chord. And by having the second note of the A major pentascale and not the third, there's again a less strong, a less definitive statement of that harmony, and I just think it's a great way to end the piece on a rather than a So that's Starry Night. I tried and tried. It was like 45 minutes. I was trying to think of something really sophisticated and yet really simple, like those great composers are able to do. I think of who's a good one? Oh, I like Kevin Costly, and I like Martha Meir, and I should stop listing names because otherwise I'll leave someone off the list that I really like. So I'll just say John Thompson, because I think the pieces in the John Thompson book don't get enough credit, especially the teacher harmonizations. They have these really cool chord changes, and I'm not a huge fan of all the finger numbers being written in, but I think the teacher duet parts are really interesting. And good composers. I tried a really long time to think of an idea. And I was over at a practice room with one of my voice majors that I coach, and I was mentioning this composition that I was writing, and he said, "Oh, how does it go?" And I thought to myself, I don't know. So I just tried this, and it came out of my fingers. Wouldn't you know that? So here's to all of you who have composing block. Put yourself in a performing situation, click the button, and play something, and you might come up with something that you like. So Starry Night, this was a pleasure to compose, and I really enjoyed the finished product, and I learned a lot through the compositional process. So things you can take away as far as tools. Number one, you can build a composition by using few chords. It doesn't have to be or you don't have to use a lot of secondary chords like and then what would I do next? I don't know. You don't have to do all that stuff. You can use like one chord. Just jump around. One chord. Jump around to different registers. You can use a repeating rhythmic pattern. Bum ba ba. Ba 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 ba. Let's try that. Simple, but effective. You can use inverted chords. And this is where you can benefit from the internet or from a teacher. So the A major triad you could use with C sharp in the bottom. And maybe like this. Okay? You can repeat your ideas in an even number for stability to sound like I said this and it's done. Or you can have an odd number for I said this and, oh, you know, one of those type moments. And then you can repeat something in different registers for to fill up extra time if you don't know how to complete a phrase, or to change the effect of it. Like if I did this. By going down, there's an element I think of reflection, of contemplation. By coming up, I feel like there's the ending emotion or feeling of wonder, of unfulfilled maybe hopes or dreams, things that you keep mulling over in your mind. So those are a couple ideas you can use, and those are the ideas that I did use when composing Starry Night. Thanks for watching.